Hey guys, Ashley here at Utah Trikes, and today we're going to talk about the Catrike boom clamp assembly. So unlike other manufacturers, Catrike does not have welded bosses on the bottom of their frames to clamp the boom. Instead, they use this clamp assembly, which wraps around the outer frame and clamps the boom into place. This boom clamp assembly is used on all current Catrike models, and with some modification can even be used on the oldest Catrikes. So Catrike uses a 2-inch diameter frame, which this clamp assembly slides over. The Catrike boom clamp assembly is designed to work with Catrike's boom shim, which I have right here. So the boom shim slides in the inside of the main frame, between the inside of the main frame and the Catrike boom. I've got here a Catrike Dumont frame. Let's take a look at the front of this here. Yeah, so let's see if you can see this. So the boom shim material actually slides inside of the frame through the slot in the bottom. And then these holes here in the shim then go through the skewers on the boom clamp itself. So this assembly allows for easy adjustment of the boom for different leg lengths and prevents the boom itself from getting scratched, and also make sure that the clamp is very secure so that the boom can't slide out as you're pedaling. Let's put the frame away and get back to our clamp. So like the Catrike itself, the boom clamp assembly is very well designed. It's a pretty elegant piece here, and there's a lot going on despite how simple it looks. Let's start by taking a look at the very front here. From the front profile, you can see the welded indexing pin here on the top of the boom clamp. And then this pin slides through the corresponding slot on the top of the main frame and then interfaces with the extruded slot in the Catrike boom. So this key feature keeps the boom very straight as you're adjusting it. Let's just take a look here at the boom. You can see this slot on the top of the boom, and that slot is where that index pin actually slides. So on the boom itself, that pin goes through and then interfaces with the boom and then prevents the boom from being able to twist. So let's look at the rest of the clamp assembly here. So on the top of the clamp, extending towards the rear, you'll see the integrated water bottle cage mounts here. The included M5 bolts, they can be used to mount a water bottle cage or other accessories that would attach to a standard 2.5-inch spacing mount. ICE makes a computer mount that bolts on here, and there are various other mounts that people have made over the years. So if we look at the bottom here, you'll see that these bolts are then secured into the frame with some pressed in rib nuts. So on the left side here, you'll see a cable mount with a plastic clip, and that can be used either with this plastic clip or a zip tie. And what that allows you to do is secure the derailleur cable coming from the front derailleur. Finally, on the bottom of the clamp itself, you'll see the actual clamping mechanism. And there are 4 welded bosses that are attached to the clamp, and that's what the skewers here go through. These bosses are TIG welded to the lower clamp housing before the slot is actually machined. So you can see there's a really nice surface finish, and that weld is penetrating. It's going all the way around there. That makes the bosses very strong and ensures perfect alignment when the skewers go through the bosses. So the clamp assembly itself is made from aluminum. Catrike doesn't specify the alloy, but I would assume it's a 6061, and it's TIG welded. The front mounts are TIG welded, the lower bosses, the index pin, TIG welded on here. It's got a nice textured tumbled finish, and it's anodized hard black. Together, the whole clamp assembly weighs just 218 grams, so it's pretty lightweight. So let's take a look at the skewers themselves. Pull one of these out here. So there are 2 of these skewers used. So similar to other quick release skewers, it uses a offset lobe cam so that as you pull the lever, it tightens up. And this part here interfaces with the cam and then goes against one of the bosses. So on the other side here, we've got a lock nut. So this has a lock nut ring inside, and then on the inside, it's got a serrated surface that mates against the boss that keeps it tight. The skewer itself is a 6mm threaded shaft, and that's got an overall length of 57mm. And then the lever itself measures 64mm from the end of the lever to the center of the cam. So overall, this boom clamp assembly is a great piece of equipment. And like I said, it does come standard on all Catrikes and can be used for older Catrikes. The main difference there is that the older Catrikes do not have the current boom with the indexing slot. So in order for them to work, you would need to actually grind this indexing slot away, or you would need to change the boom and then add a slot to your main frame, which a lot of people don't feel comfortable with. And since this is a add-on part, you could just clamp that on pretty easily. So if you have any questions about this boom clamp assembly or any other parts that go on the Catrike, please let us know.